slides or anything set up. It's mostly going to be just demoing what Vercel is, what it does, and all the features it provides. To start off, just by a show of hands, how many of you have used Vercel before? Okay, wow, a lot more than I was expecting, actually. So to start off, I work at Vercel. I'm a developer advocate, so I do stuff like this all the time, doing little demos. And Vercel, for those of you who aren't really familiar with it, the most basic feature it offers, and like arguably the most important, is it makes it really easy for front-end developers to get their code from their local machine up into the cloud and behind a URL with no configuration or work done on their end. So I'll demo how you do that really quick. First, this is the dashboard, and you log in just with your Git, or if you want to use an email, you can do that too. So you could be like Bitbucket, it could be Bitbucket, good, GitHub or GitLab. And once you're logged in, you can just say add new project. And you'll see all of your repositories here. You can switch to anything you log in with. I'm on my personal GitHub here. And you just import the one that you want to use and then click deploy. And just like that, it's going to take a few seconds, but it will deploy your website for you. And you really don't need to do any work. This one I just realized is probably going to fail because I'm going to cancel it. I should have chosen a different repository. Let me go back and I'll redeploy a different one. Maybe, I guess this is a good one. Deploy. Now it'll take a few seconds and it'll deploy it for you. And by default, it's going to use some random Vercel generated URL, but you can always go in your dashboard and switch it to a custom URL if you'd like, or custom domain. So hopefully this won't take too long so I can show you. A few more seconds. This is always the bad part, waiting for it. Okay, well, while that deploys, what's cool about Vercel is anytime you make a commit to main, this is gonna automatically redeploy for you, so it's not something you need to go in and redeploy yourself. All right, here we go. This is just like a little, tiny little project I started, kind of like an Airbnb. But yeah, so now we're at this like Vercel generated URL. But again, as I mentioned, you can switch it to any domain you want. So like here I have one of my side projects, I think it's Cinema Rex. And if I click it, you can see I put my own watchthis.dev domain in there. And like I said, anytime you make a change to main, this is automatically going to redeploy, so you don't need to worry about that. But what's even cooler is anytime you make a commit to a branch, it's going to deploy that branch to its own domain also. So if I go to my deployments, we have what we call a preview deployment. So here you can see it's a branch. And if I click it, rather than going to our like main deployment, you have this preview deployment, which has a toolbar down here. So obviously for developers, it's easy to get feedback through GitHub. You can make issues, you can have discussions there. But for non-developers, it's hard to give your feedback. You need them to like screencast it or screenshot it for maybe the design team or investors to look at it. With preview deployments, we have this toolbar where anyone who has this link, or if they're on their team, you can choose who can see it. I have anyone who has a link, can come in and leave comments anywhere on the page. So let's say this button was broken. I can say button is broken. And you can even take a screenshot so they know exactly what button you're talking about and send. Now you can go through and look at all the messages that have been left. You can leave replies to it. Oops. And then once it's resolved, you can mark it as resolved. And it's just, it tightens that feedback loop. So now let's say this branch is good. We want this branch to be in production. Of course, you could merge this branch into main and it will automatically redeploy to your deployment or production deployment. Or if you wanted to, we can go to these three dots and say promote to production, promote. And it is going to promote this to production without having to merge the branch in. Maybe you want to do some testing and you don't want to merge it in yet. You can do that, and it's just going to build and do that for you. Now, obviously, sometimes, unfortunately, you're going to push something to production that slows it down or breaks it or maybe introduces a bug, and you want your users to experience that for as little time as possible. So Vercel implemented this really cool feature called instant rollbacks. If I go back to our deployments, so let's say this one made our website super slow, and we don't want our users to experience that. I can go to a previous production, maybe let's say this one, click instant rollback, continue, And now instantly we have rolled back to this previous deployment. It doesn't need a rebuild or anything. So now we have all the time in the world to fix the bug and we can redeploy that branch. So it's just a really nifty tool that Vercel has. Also, if you go back to your dashboard, it's going to be in yellow. This way you know, like, oh, right, this is rolled back. We need to fix something here. Okay, moving on, I want to talk about analytics. This is another awesome Vercel feature. I'll actually go to a different project for this one. Maybe if I go to Vercel. Let's go to the Vercel site, click Analytics. And here we have our core web vitals, which you're probably wondering, why not just use Lighthouse? Well, this is very similar to Lighthouse, but it's using actual user data. So it's not just, how it should perform, it's how it's actually performing. And you can look at all of your core web vitals. Sorry, my phone is not on silent. And then you can also look at audiences. So this tells you the visitors, the number of page views, where they're coming from, what browsers they're using, what devices they're using, and you just get all of this data. And you have this for almost every framework can use analytics. Not every framework can use the core web vitals one, which is why I switched to Vercel because I was looking at a Svelte project. But if I go back to my video demo team. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Vercel automatically configures your applications to use server-side rendering or edge functions or ISR if you configure your application to use it. So for instance, in this Cinema Rex project that I was kind of showing as a demo, if we go to it, this uses the OpenAI API, and you can, click some categories and say must be on Netflix and have a cat in it. Curate my list, and you can see, oh, I think I rolled back to a broken branch. Oops. Okay, let me go to a different deployment. That's not great. Let's do this one. This one works. Instant rollback. This is a good example of how easy it is to roll back. Done. Okay. Now, if I go to it, get recommendations, must be on Netflix, curate my list. And now we see this coming in. And this project is using the edge. So with SvelteKit and many frameworks like Nuxt or Next, you can use edge functions, which are similar to serverless functions, but they're actually cheaper and faster. They run closer to the user. And by doing this, I can stream data. So you can see when it was coming in, instead of waiting for the entire response to be created and sent back to us, in which case we'd have to show a loading screen. We see the data come in as it's being created because we're streaming using edge functions, which is a feature that Vercel offers. And you can also use incremental static regeneration and, of course, serverless functions. So that's for like Next.js, Nuxt, Vercel. I think those are the main three. Now, I personally am not a Next.js developer, which is weird because Vercel created Next.js, but I'm actually a SvelteKit and Vue developer, so I don't know a whole ton about Next, but I do want to touch on some extra features that you get when you use Next with Vercel. Obviously, since we created Next, they integrate better than any other frameworks together. So with Next, you also get really great image optimization using Next Image. I'm sure most of you, if you use Next, know what that is. And you also can have OG images created for you for each of your individual pages, which is an awesome feature of Vercel. Otherwise, that just about sums up the features Vercel provides. It supports every single framework. Obviously, though, it depends on what the framework, like how it can be configured to use Vercel. So for instance, SvelteKit, you can use Edge, Serverless, and ISR. If you're using plain old Svelte, though, you can't because it's not configured to do that. So yeah, that is Vercel. And then one other thing I want to talk about is our templates marketplace. That's not it. We have this awesome templates marketplace that a lot of people don't know about, and it has templates for just about every framework and a lot of cool ones. So I know this is like a Bitcoin, so you guys are probably into Web3. So if you type Web3 in, you can see we got some Web3 templates. Or if you're really into like AI right now, I know everyone is, we got some cool AI templates. My friend and coworker Hassan made this dream room one, and it totally went viral. Like GitHub retweeted him. He was getting hundreds of thousands of page views a day. It's like, dude, you got to monetize that. I don't know if you ever did. But yeah, we've got a lot of really cool templates. So I recommend if you want to pull it up now, you guys can instantly get started with the templates. So like for instance, maybe you want this image gallery starter. You can say deploy, and automatically it's going to create this repo for you. And I wonder if there's any, so many, I'm not gonna get environment variables for this, but yeah, you can instantly deploy it and then just go to your GitHub, clone it, and you can go from there and create your own application. It's really cool. Yeah, so that was short. That's basically everything Vercel related. If anyone has questions,